We're back once again. It's your guy, Rhett Butler, and I'm always with the artists that make up this amazing Gateway Arts Districts. You know it's the creative vein of Prince George's County, and I'm blessed to know the best. Today is no different. This episode, the future is now, creative innovation in film, animation, and immersive media in Prince George's County, Maryland. I had to get the progenitor, if you will. I'm using big words for this guy, of who's the one that's really pushing the needle on this level of immersion. None other than Tewodross M. Williams, Machoshua, if you nasty, baby, filmmaker, animator, designer, professor, and definitely the Afrofuturist of Prince George's County. What's up, my brother?
I'm blessed, my brother. How you doing today, man? I
Man,
love
bless.
I love the Afrofuturists. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that. I love it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You know, it's amazing because as you and I both know, this creative vein that we're lucky to call home,
Yes.
has so many different complexions and perspectives and creativity and all that good stuff. But there's a few people that really aggregate these folks and
Hmm.
put them in creative spaces and allowing them with great opportunity. And you're absolutely one of those people. You've been preaching
Thank
the
you.
gospel of Afrofuturism, creativity, immersive technology, like all of this stuff in design for
Yes.
years, innovating, helping other folks see the light, graduating them into the game, and helping them become full-on entrepreneurs or professionals in this space. So first and
Yes.
foremost, talk about the passion you have for
Yes.
Afrofuturism, technology within creativity and artistry. I mean, you've been saying this gospel for a long time, man.
Yes. It took me a while to figure out I'm a black nerd. I'm a blurred. I'm a geek. Now it's cool. We got
It's a
a
cool
rapper
thing
called.
now.
It's cool, right? It's Afrofuturism. But yeah, just things that I have since a child I've always been into, if it's science fiction or horror or fantasy, and making little puppets and all kinds of things. And so now that it's officially cool to be a blurred, I proudly say I'm a geek and a nerd, and the geeks and nerds, as I tell my son, they don't want to be making money, but but no, Afrofuturism is such an exciting genre that I'm still learning as much as I'm teaching about it at Bowie State University. And so yeah, it's great because it allows us as people of African descent to include ourselves in the I'd say in the present, in the past, and the future at the same time. Finally, we're in the narrative. We're not left out. We don't get killed off in the first 5 minutes of the movie. We actually have a future, but it's beyond just like science fiction. We're getting into technology. We're talking about entrepreneurship and innovation. So getting our people to sort of think about different possibilities, and this is so important in the times that we're living right now. So yeah, so it's been in me since I was a little kid watching Star Trek and had a crush on Captain Uhura. Nichelle Nichols, rest in peace. But yes, it's just been amazing. I've always been interested in seeing more stories in fantasy and science fiction and even in horror from our perspective, and as well as other people of color who are underrepresented.
Yeah, beautiful. I want to give a little bit of backstory for those not super familiar with your work.
Mhm.
Um, So, number one, you're a filmmaker, an educator, and a visual storyteller. Your company name, I always thought, is amazing amalgamation of words, visual jazz. I mean,
Yes.
that's just something that is just sweet for the brain to understand. And that is a creative studio based in the Gateway Media Arts Lab, where I too have a studio. So this is my neighbor, and
Yep.
we explore. He explores the evolving future of film, animation, immersive media, and creative technology, examining how Prince George's County through his company is becoming a vibrant center, which I think visual jazz is one of the progenitors of, as I said earlier, for artistic and technological innovation, and how institutions like Bowie State, which he proudly represents, are helping to
Mhm.
cultivate this new generation of visionary storytellers and digital creators. So, Teodros, why and how has Prince George's County now evolved as a hub for innovation in film, animation, and media?
I would say the why and how is just so much dope talent coming out of the DMV and especially Prince George's County. And sometimes I don't even recognize it until I'm in LA or I'm in Atlanta and I'm bumping in for everybody. I call it the homecoming. Like everybody from we call it the area. Everybody from the area are at these film festivals
Right.
or represented in film, both in front of the camera and behind the camera with productions. And so we're at a really great time. I'm excited that I can stay here in Prince George's County. I can stay here in the area and not have to necessarily move to New York, Atlanta, or LA. I mean, those are obviously amazing places to be. But I think there's something really exciting right here in the DMV right now in terms of again great productions that are coming out of Prince George's County. And so, and what I'm hoping to sort of see in terms of my connection with visual jazz and Bowie State is how we can become a hub, especially for this technology and cinema. Things like virtual production, which I'll talk about a little bit later on, as well as animation, production design. So we're in such a great location, not too far from Baltimore, not that far from DC. Annapolis is just down the street, not that far from New York or Atlanta, if you really think about it. So I think the time is really right for Prince George's County to shine. And again, just the amazing talent that is coming out of the DMV is just really exciting.
Yeah, it really is. It's amazing that fortuitously, even Wes Moore, the Maryland state governor,
Yes.
has now labeled the state of Maryland, but specifically Prince George's County, as the capital of quantum computing or capital of quantum. I would go a step further and even say it's the capital of creativity. And I
Yeah.
say that because of, I would say, in part from Visual Jazz and Bowie State University's efforts towards aligning the rest
Mhm.
of the nation with the creative assets and brain trust that is here in Prince George's County. Can you talk a little bit about your vision and the fact that you've been able to align so many
Right.
of the upcoming creatives and professional creatives in this market with the bigger national audience of professionals in the space?
Absolutely. So again, in addition to just sort of being here in the DMV, just the amazing amount of, I'll say, talent that's coming out of HBCUs. And so, as
Absolutely.
an HBCU alumni myself, I went to Morgan State. I've been
That's
at
right.
Bowie State for a little over 20 years. Bowie is, of course, Maryland's oldest HBCU. And so we're at a great opportunity, great leadership with our president and provost and deans to really hop into this technology, to hop into this creative economy that's happening right here in Prince George's County. And because we're under the University of Maryland system, there are of course three other HBCUs in the state of Maryland. Bowie has really been at the forefront with leading some of these efforts, especially with computer science. And in the program that I'm teaching in the Department of Fine and Performing Arts, we have a major called Visual Communication and Digital Media Arts. It's actually the largest major in the department. We're focusing on animation and motion graphics and filmmaking, fashion design and costume design, digital media advertising. But what's unique about what we're trying to do is, as I tell my students, your degree is great, but it ain't enough. So we want to wrap this with entrepreneurship. Our president, Aminta H. Bro, first woman president of Bowie State University, one of her missions is for all of our students to graduate with an entrepreneurial mindset. So what I've been trying to do as a department chair and professor is plug in the entrepreneurship with all the innovation and technology, so we can get all of the arts, whether it be music and performance, dance, theater, acting, to plug this into entrepreneurship. So getting our students, I always tell my students, I want you all to graduate with not only entrepreneurial mindset, but thinking about building generational wealth. We don't need any more debt. We need you all to have sustainable careers for your families, and we could do it right here in the state of Maryland. And so I'm really excited you brought up the governor. And of course, we had the amazing now Senator Alston Brooks, who was an amazing
That's
county
right.
executive, and even the new county executive, Brave Boy, who have been very, very great supporters of the arts and the creative economies here. And so it does make a difference in terms of leadership at the government level to have that support. Just the very fact that Prince George's County, well, the state of Maryland has these arts districts, just like what you and I we're neighbors here in the Gateway Arts District
That's right.
here in the Gateway Media Arts Lab. It's great that they're actually these districts where professional artists, designers, DJs, chefs, dancers, animators can thrive and live and work. And so again, we could keep this economy right here in Prince George's County, right here in the state of Maryland. And so
Yeah.
what I'm hoping with Bowie State is that we can really have our students to connect with professionals like yourself and other artists and creatives and business owners right here in Prince George's County as well.
Nah, man, it's Maryland's time, and more than anything, it's Prince George's County's time for sure. I always tell folks, there was an article that came out maybe 2 years ago in the Washington Post, and it said
Mhm.
Charles County is now the wealthiest Black county in Maryland. It's no longer Prince George's. And I said to that fact, I said, well, if that's the case, then I would say that Charles County is now the suburbs of Prince George's County, because you got to go through the county to get to Charles. And last I checked, they definitely came from Prince George's first. So it just
Mhm.
attests to the growth of Prince
Right.
George's. It is no longer a bedroom community for those who have been sleeping on what's actually happening in Prince George's County.
Absolutely.
Interestingly, from the Gateway Media Arts Lab and just the
Mhm.
Gateway in general, so much collaboration. Like I feel blessed because I know and I feel like I'm at the heartbeat of all the artists in the county. So
Mhm.
I know a little more than most because I'm entrenched in it. But Visual Jazz is here. I'm here. Why did you choose the Gateway Media Arts Lab, one, and two? Why the Gateway Arts District? You could have been anywhere else in the county and still been a
Yes.
successful creative entrepreneur. Why here? What's so special about the
Yes.
magic and
So,
emotion
so,
you have?
so you know what's exciting is I've had a chance to live in Baltimore. I've lived in DC, and I'll be quite honest with you. The Gateway and especially Mount Rainier has always been a place that's near and dear to my heart. With my family, I'd be hanging out with Nisi and going to Glut and at Joe's Moving Emporium. I used to work with kids there and with the theater tech program, and so and
Wow.
even my younger children, we've done summer camps, all kinds of things. So
Right.
as a parent, as a son of Prince George's, I just was just really excited when I found out, even before that, there was gonna that the Gateway CDC was gonna create the Gateway Media Arts Lab, and so I was really just excited that I can stay here because I really did not want to leave. You know, a lot of folks are being called to DC or called to New York, and so when the opportunity came for us and some of the other businesses that are set up in the lab, I definitely hopped on it. I really feel that we're on to something here. I think we're I don't know if so much as a best kept secret, but there's just so much amazing opportunities. And then also in terms of tax incentives, I mean, to be able to stay
Oh,
in the
yeah, absolutely.
county and get that tax incentive as an arts district, I think is extremely important. But yeah, I wanted to stay home. I stay here, and my family's here. You know, my mom and my father, but you know, my parents are not too far away.
Right.
They're buried in Bladensburg, so that's another kind of ancestral connection with my parents right around the corner. But yeah,
Nice.
it's you know, I've loved the Mount Rainier Hyattsville area for many years. It's always been a just exciting community. As a matter of fact, it's been inspiring even for me as the film that I'll talk about later.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, the artists and the creatives that I've met here really have they inspire me, especially in visual jazz and what I'm trying to do with this feature film that I want to work on. But yeah, it's great to just to be able to just say that we can have the space like the Gateway Media Arts Lab and Deep Park 3311 and all the you know all the amazing studios and museums and galleries up and down the corridor of Rhode Island Avenue.
Right. No, it's huge. Collaboration is the only
Yes,
word that's apropos here, man. I mean, listen, I'm going to take people back in the time machine. Remember, we did this event called Wakanda.
yes,
That's why I say about the Afrofuturism stuff, right? Because before, okay, thank you to Black Panther. Thank you to these guys that put together that amazing movie. Rest in peace,
yes,
Chadwick
indeed.
Boseman.
Rest in peace. Yes,
But we saw what was coming and we knew we had to create something that was an in-person experience that was fully collaborative.
yes,
Every
indeed.
single part of the Gateway Media Arts Lab was activated
Hmm.
downstairs and other parts of the artist loft where you did projections. We got busy that day,
We
and more
did.
than anything, I think it set a template and a tone and tenor for how the artists here interact and intersect. Man,
Yes.
I just wanted to bring that back because for me,
Yeah.
that really was kind of like a hallmark moment of showcasing where all the synergies kind of came together, and the people who aren't part of our creative community felt it when they showed up. Everybody was just on fire with the amount of passion that we had, and they felt it. It reverberated really well. What do you when you reflect back on that moment?
Yes.
What do you think about that? Because you were majorly instrumental in that.
Yeah. It was exciting. Listen, I was like, man, Brett, we should have done that for Sinners, brother.
Yo, we should have
uh,
done that for
we need.
Sinners.
That's right. We'll do it for the beat. My film coming out.
Right, exactly.
But no, that was excellent because you know what I loved about that Wakanda forever moment that we had in the lab is just the whole community, not only the screening, the excitement of the Black Panther film, but
Right.
just the community. Everyone, you know, dressing up, you know, everyone
Mhm.
engaged with each other, learning more about, you know, again, if it's Afrofuturism or other topics. But it was just a really exciting time. Of course, we had some different folks in the White House, and it was a different energy. Let's put
Right,
put it
right.
like. But you know what? But I want to hold on to that, you know, that moment. I'm glad you brought that up because, you know, it actually sparked my interest it really it energized me for the script that I've been working on for the past
Nice.
couple of years.
Nice.
So that was just an amazing moment, and hopefully we can continue to have things. I love to not only have the film, if it's you know get the great work that Ryan Coogler's doing or some of the
Yeah.
other filmmakers, but just having a showcase for filmmakers, especially here in Prince George's County, that we can not only screen the films, but we can make it an event. You know, and that's something I'm really interested in as a storyteller. Is I want to make these films and create these stories, but when I screen it, I really want to talk to the audience. I really have that feedback, and so hopefully we'll do some more of those. I'm so glad you brought that up.
No, man. And it's interesting when you're talking about the screenings and the way we've been able to coalesce all of
Hmm.
what's going on behind the scenes and then interacting with the people in front of house. We can't get past the Prince George's County Film
Yep.
Festival.
Hey, I'm repping, brother. I'm repping.
I mean, this is the ultimate combination of everything you said and culmination. You know, I've been blessed to be one of the main hosts and moderators for like 3 years, and I'm gonna be doing it again this year. And one of the biggest things that happens during this time for me is I get to see the entire film industry that nobody knows.
Hmm.
It's living and thriving right here in the county. And then we ship people in who are also explaining how they interact with these same people who are right here. Now, I know our county is huge. So a lot of times between North Central and South County, people might
Yes,
not feel as connected. But if the one thing about the creative economy here is we're all connected regardless of what part of the county we live.
that's right.
Obviously, the gateway is always the vein. But talk a little bit about, I know you're on the board and you're super instrumental in the Prince George's County Film Festival. Can you talk a little
Yes.
about that, the vision to have that from when it started to now? Because all I've ever seen is it grow leaps and bounds. I mean, you guys impress me every year.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I'll definitely. It's a wonderful partnership that we have at Bowie State and the Department of Fine Arts, and specifically, I have to give a much love, of course, to the Prince George's Arts and Humanities Council,
Absolutely.
Rhonda Dallas, and the PG Film Office with Donna Foster Dotson, and
Shout out,
all
man.
the great team at PG Arts and Humanities Council. Those are actually those we have a partnership. When I say we, the department and Bowie State, we've had a partnership with them for many years, and so this was a conversation that we've been having about having a film festival. And let me just, I want to give respect. There's been amazing film festivals here
Yeah,
before PG. There was Heritage Film Festival. Of course, I have to give
absolutely.
love to Creative Edge
Creative
and
Edge.
yeah, Pierre and
That's
all the
right.
great
Shout out
folks.
to
I want to
Pierre.
give love to
Yeah.
everybody. But we just came together to create this we wanted to not only be just a film festival. I mean, you got ABFF, you got Acapulco, you got Urban World, all of these film festivals around the country. But we wanted it to be a draw, an economic draw, and really to also connect to tourism. So what could we do to get this energy and excitement going, and also connect it to the students? And so we have this will be our fourth year. So the PG Film Festival is usually the last weekend of September. Typically in the past, we've hosted it at, of course, at Bowie State University and the Fine and Performing Arts Center. We also did something at the MGM National Harbor and at Prince George's Community College. And so it's a great partnership. It's a great way for local filmmakers and animators. I'm an animator, I'll put that out
Right.
there.
That's right.
Filmmakers, animators, storytellers to come and be able to showcase their work. Students, students, especially whether it be at Bowie State or the area local schools, can also screen their work. But then there are the workshops. You've done some amazing panels and workshops. We talk about the mechanics of making a film, distribution and marketing. We talk about, of course, animation. We talk about, we got into technology and virtual production last year.
True.
Some of the costume design and acting workshops. And so it's another reason for me to not have to leave the county. I can stay right here,
Right.
and
That's right.
I have to go to Miami. I can stay right here. But no, we want this to be a destination here every year. So again, we've been really excited to have this partnership between Bowie State and the PG Arts and Humanities Councils and other sponsors for this film festival. And then some of the great you know celebrity I guess ambassadors we've had: Lynn
Oh, yeah.
Whitfield,
Lamont Rucker.
Lamont Rucker. I
Oh,
mean, this just goes
yeah.
on and on. And so again,
Beyonce's mama,
Beyonce's mama,
Tina
Miss Tina
Knowles, came
Knowles.
to the
Oh,
joint. I was
yes,
like, oh,
yes,
man.
absolutely. So all of these amazing. Again, I think that everyone is realized there's something in the water over here in the DMV and in Prince George's County. And so so again, we'll do this again next September. I'm going to invite everyone that's watching to please participate. Please come to the Prince George's Film Festival. We'll do it again. It's the last week of September, and we'll be hosting it in the Fine and Performing Arts Center at Bowie State University. And
Nice.
again, and just having a way for all of us as creatives and storytellers to get our work out, to network, to bond, to build community, to build bridges. It really helps me as an instructor that there are things I'm just teaching in the classroom, but I'm telling my students, come to these events because you can talk to the producers, the creatives who are doing it every day, taking them out of the classroom and literally making the world their classroom, so to speak. So it's a really exciting thing. Again, I as someone who's kind of lived in different areas and coming back home to Prince George's County, I'm so excited that we have this. And yeah, it's only going to get bigger.
Big time. And I'm glad you said that too, because I too, I'm a transplant to this area and I've lived in different markets and
Mhm.
there's something in the water, man. I can't let
There
it
is.
go. I'm always coming back. This is my spot. I love it out
Mhm.
here. Um,
Absolutely.
you mentioned it before, but I want to get into it. You have a major sci-fi film in development titled The Beat.
Yes.
It is set to begin production in 2027, 2028. Can you tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind it and what audiences can expect?
Yes, thank you. So yes, this will be a science fiction feature that I want to produce right here in Prince George's County in the DMV. So it's I call it a love letter to Black people and Black music and culture. It's centered around a DJ who's also an anthropologist and a student at HBCU, of course. And she has a young savant son that they're both of them have been given this task of saving humanity by sort of deciphering these ancient discs. And so it's my attempt to, um, not only use Afrofuturism and science fiction as a particular genre, but it's also getting us to think about how we as people of color also connect to issues like the environment, uh, obviously issues of representation and immigration and things like that. So even though it's sort of science fiction, with this particular story, everything is sort of here on this planet. We don't really leave Earth on this one. So there's some, let's say there's some ancient beings and ancient wisdom that returns to these two characters to sort of empower them as they attempt to save humanity. And so my excitement about this project is to be able to work with a lot of musicians, especially the big inspiration is the DJ. I'm a hip hop head, and so I've been really following a lot of DJs and especially women DJs. I want to put a spotlight on them. But the DJ as sort of the curator, if you will, of the story. And so this is my love letter to the DJs, love letter to HBCUs, love letter to Black music and culture, and the DMV. I really want to make sure that it's a musically driven film, and my goal is for it to not only be a feature-length film that you see in the cinema, but I'm looking at this becoming an immersive project as well, and looking at maybe this being a virtual reality experience, and
Wow.
maybe plugging it into some games and gaming and that type of other types of technology. So, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today was sort of kind of the future of filmmaking
Yeah.
and where we're going to go. But yeah, this project hopefully will kick this off in 26. I mean, I'm sorry, 27, 28. Of course, I got to get the money together. So I would love to be able to do a screening, hopefully in time for the Prince George's Film Festival. But
Yeah. And
yeah,
one thing I'll say about you, you always, first of all, you're a visionary, but you knew that. But the main thing is you see the intersectionality, right? It doesn't
yeah,
just stop with the content creation. It's like now, how many places can the content go?
right.
How does it enhance the experience of the content? I love that because that confluence has happened more than ever. And I think you were ahead of your time in realizing that. I mean, we all knew
Mm-hmm.
that tech was going to expand and contract in large ways, but now that it's open source and that we can touch it a lot easier now, it seems like now is where innovation really has to put the pedal to the metal because
Correct.
now there's no excuses. We're not really waiting as much as we did before for the tech to catch up to our ideas. Now we're in the point of creating actual technological ecosystems around our content. What do you
Mm-hmm.
think about that? And do you think a lot of artists can catch up to where tech can take them, or do you think they're still thinking more analog while being vibrant creatively?
Well, I think we have more tools at our disposal, and so even myself, I'm even though I'm teaching, I'm a professor. I call myself an eternal student. And so if it's AI, like I'll be honest with you, I was a little resistant to it at the beginning, but
All
now
of
I'm
us,
I'm
yeah.
like, let me give this a try. So
Right.
I think we have tools at our disposal. I think that artists are starting to explore. I know we're trying to sort of figure it out in terms of how do we protect our intellectual property and still,
Yeah.
can create using these tools. But there's virtual production. We actually have a new major that's going to be coming at Bowie State called Immersive Media, Entertainment, and Gaming. And this is a collaboration. You talked about collaboration earlier. This is a
Yeah.
collaboration and partnership between computer science and fine and performing arts. And so I would say for the artists, it's really, you said it earlier, it's about collaborating. Maybe we get with the engineer, the designer, the animator, the filmmaker, the dancer, the musician, the DJ, the MC, to create these multimedia projects. So when I first, going back to The Beat, by the way, the title of the film is called The Beat.
Right.
I first envisioned it as just a straight film. I had this love of music and hip hop and DJ culture and science fiction. I just wondered, like, how do I put that into a bow and tie it up? But what's interesting now is now I've started to think of this might be more of an interactive project, or maybe it's a video game. Like it's starting to transition into other ways of communicating, and I think that's really what's exciting about now for young artists here in the DMV and filmmakers, is that it's all about the experience. I always say I don't want people to just go watch my film or go watch this work. I want them to experience it. So if it's putting on a VR headset, if it's an interactive wall, or using sound and motion, but
Yeah.
creating this story where it touches on all the senses, right? And so that's something I think right now the technology lends itself for us to explore that. And I can certainly talk more about some great tools that we can use. There's again VR, XR, extended reality. There is Unreal Engine, which a lot of filmmakers and artists are using right now, not only in terms of film and cinema production, but also in terms of game design. And so that's another area that we're going to be exploring at Bowie State, is with this new program, Immersive Media, Entertainment, and Gaming, is again bringing computer science, coding, virtual production, motion capture, gaming, and entrepreneurship. Always got to throw that in. Like we want to make sure that our students are not only exploring these new technologies for creating experiences, but also thinking about products, thinking about services, thinking about owning that content. And so we always want to have that key, that tie into it.
So, question, with the two departments coming together at Bowie for this new program, is that something that's rare, or is this something that always happens where departments kind of think out the box and see where they can intersect?
So it hasn't always happened. It can be rare. This is something I've been trying for like a good. I've been at Bowie 20 years, and
Right.
it did take some new leadership. New.
Right.
Let's put it like this. It took the amazing Dr. Shumba, who's a chair of computer science, my colleague, and then myself coming together and just saying, hey, what can we do to get the computer scientist, the artist, the musician, the dancer? How can we do more collaborative things together? And so she's been a great. As a matter of fact, there's two majors that are sort of happening. There's a virtual reality and gaming major that actually kicks off this fall
Okay.
at Bowie State, and then my major won't be immersive media, entertainment, and gaming. That will come in 2020, 26, 27. So it is sort of rare, but again, I think it's necessary. We have to learn to think more collaboratively and interdisciplinary within the departments and the different disciplines at Bowie State. But then how could we collaborate with maybe other HBCUs or other University of Maryland institutions? And so collaboration is critical. I think, again, I'm trying not to bring up politics, but the universities are under attack. And right now is a time that we have to come together and form these partnerships, form these coalitions, build communities, and work together, because working separately is not going to cut it for us. But yeah, this is a really exciting time for us. The other great thing is we have support from Adobe. We're recognized as an Adobe Creative Campus, and Adobe has given us some funding for this project with this major. Dr. Shumba and I. So that's been a key thing for myself as an artist, a filmmaker, and as a professor. It's just partnerships. Whether it's corporate sponsorships that we've been able successfully to get at Bowie State, but then as well is really, really important.
Yeah, I'm glad you answered that question and gave us that background, because what I know, I'm a Howard University alumnus. What I
That's
know
right.
that at colleges, specifically in educational institutions, things are so static from what it's been for so long that sometimes it's hard to get new collaborations and new ideas across, because we have a template already for something else and it's working.
Mhm.
But as the world evolves, the fact that an educational institution like Bowie State
Right.
sees that you have to do things a little different to get
Yes.
new results from a changing mentality and a changing ecosystem of students, I salute that. And I wanted to point that out because that is rare to me.
Yes.
Most institutions are very static in their approach.
I
So
agree.
anytime you get an institution, and that has everything to do with leadership, as you said, that
It
is
does.
thinking about what what are we not doing yet based on where we currently are? That says a lot about the institution.
It does. It
You
does.
know,
And
it
leader,
means that
yeah,
it's willing to graduate with the evolution of the world, not just what we've done that works. And because that's the easier way, right?
right,
To
right.
think out the box.
And then the other thing is really how are we empowering our students, for this economy? I mean,
Exactly.
let's think about it. It's rough out here. It's really difficult. I mean,
I
with
love it.
again the attacks on institutions and just it's really difficult for our students. So we're always trying to think of what's going to be the skills they're going to need in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. How can they
Yes.
embrace the technology if it's AI or others, so that we can empower them? And so again, the only way that we can do it as an institution is partnerships. Again, I go to the corporations. We have a great partnership with Leica's Animation Studio.
Okay.
Again, I mentioned Adobe. We have some fashion partnerships with Under Armour and Kate Spade. And so
Oh,
my
wow.
professors and I, we're going to these corporations and we're saying, hey, what do our students need to be successful?
Right.
How can we partner? And they've been very receptive in helping us not only with curriculum and courses, internships, funding they've given us. So it's really important that again I always say, yeah, Maryland, Bowie State is Maryland's oldest HBCU, and that's great, but we
Yeah.
want to make sure we're the one of the most successful HBCUs, like my wonderful alma mater, Morgan State or Coppin State or Howard University and Spelman and all the others. But yeah, it's really really important that I think for the HBCUs especially to build these partnerships, strategic partnerships with
That's right.
corporations and companies, so our students truly are prepared when they get into the industry, because right now it is a really really challenging time for students and
Yeah.
recent alums. So and we take that very seriously.
We talked about centers earlier, and you always
Yes,
discuss that anything that's happening at Bowie has an entrepreneurial edge attached to
correct.
it. I want to talk about what Ryan Coogler was able to accomplish with centers because I think
Sure.
not only are we having a revolution in relation to the intersectionality again with tech, animation, and all the convergences with the new abilities we can do with open source, but Ryan Coogler kind of changed the game in the relation to how he owns the content,
Yes.
profiting from the content, and it's setting a new template and blueprint, if you will, for ownership and or more rights to what you're making, so you can receive more of the great results that he obviously received from what is now probably considered a cult classic in Sinners
Yes.
in a very short amount of time. Do you think that creatives now, with these new abilities, should be challenged based on templates like what Ryan has done to start thinking about ways that they can have more ownership or more
Yeah.
profitability, especially when they're partnering with bigger outlets and streamers?
Yes, I do. And I salute to Ryan Coogler and the deal that he did with Sinners. It's not only just creating the work, but as you mentioned, creating owning our content, our IP, as we say all the time. And
Pete,
that's something that we're always stressing to our students is making sure you own your material. If your masters, your rights, your public, the rights to your work.
that's
And
right.
so that's something that we do as a university. I know in our program, it's not only just learning the filmmaking or the animation or the fashion, but we're having our students take courses in business and marketing and understanding,
Yeah.
copyright and trademarks and IP to make sure that they don't get taken advantage of. But yeah, Ryan Coogler is such an amazing example. And what I really love about him is not only the deal where he retained the creative rights of that film,
Yeah.
but he brought people back into theater. I refuse to watch it on anything
That's
but
true. That's true.
screen. And,
Yeah.
and, and just like Black Panther,
Right.
it was an event. I took my students. I teach a class called Visual Culture. We study hip hop and contemporary art. And actually, that film it was such, well, you all know the amazing scene. I don't want to give you
Yeah. Yeah.
spoilers,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we walked out of it. I mean, just empowered. Also, just the fact that he shot it on film.
Shot on film.
And you have to see it in the theater. So he did well at the box office. I know I'm about to download and buy the film. It's already on, on pay-per-view right now. But
Right.
the fact that he got people back in the theater, just like he did with Black Panther, and again, creating an experience. People will come to the theater if there's an experience, and just in terms in terms of the cinematography, the way it was shot,
Right.
him shooting it at 35 and you have to really experience it in the theater on IMAX. And so I really salute his business model. I really salute the fact that he empowers so many people. But yeah, he's just a great example, and that's going to be things that we will continue to sort of teach our students. As we start to get them to think about entertainment law and ways that they need to protect themselves and protect their content. And think about licensing their work as well. So yeah,
Right.
he's a great case study. We continue to be taught from years to come. And I really I'm inspired by him, even with his my current film is just an amazing project. And so yeah,
Cool.
this is a time for us to not get got. We don't need to be taken advantage of anymore.
Right.
As
Speaking of which,
filmmakers,
not getting got, we should have did a sinners event, bro. I'm telling
we
you,
you know
I
what?
didn't even think about that when you said that. I was
Yeah,
like, hey, we
I
missed
was like,
that.
man, we should have had a yeah. That's okay. That's okay.
We're gonna
We'll
do
we
something.
we're gonna do something for so
Yeah.
again when my film The Beat comes out. We'll have the Beat party.
Boom. That's one. There we go.
That's it.
And you
That's
know
it.
what? I'm glad you said that, Tewodross, because
Sure.
you and I both know great filmmakers out here like Harold Jackson, yourself.
Yes. Oh
I
yes.
mean, having the ability to get with these guys and maybe even
Hmm.
do something that's a little more of an in-person experience, really rallying around what's happening with those films, especially when they start venturing more into the sci-fi genre. That would be an amazing thing. And if I'm not mistaken, we have something coming up soon with Jordan Peele. I think he's
That's
doing
right.
something around football with a
That's
quarterback.
right. Yeah.
I think
Him.
Marlon Wayans is in it and everything. That's
Yeah.
supposed to be the banger, man. That's going to be another one
Yeah.
that supposed to be psychological thriller
I mean,
and yeah,
yeah, no, that's what's exciting, whether it's again horror or fantasy or or sci-fi or even what I call alternative history like Lovecraft Country
turn.
and others.
Oh
This
man,
is just it's an amazing time. And no, that's something that I really, again, even with my work, once it's released, I want it to be an experience. I mean, it's about a DJ. I already know we're gonna have a DJ at the screen. It has to be a multimedia experience. It's just how I
right.
envisioned it. And so making it an event, again, I go back to the Wakanda parties. We got dressed up. Everybody was put on their Wakanda best. And
Yeah,
it was an event. It was literally an event. And I think we have to find, as a lot of the movie theaters are having trouble keeping audiences. We have to give people a reason to want to come back into the theater,
there you
and
go.
give them an experience. And maybe they take that experience home, and it's a virtual reality experience. It's a game. There's so many other things that we could do with that project. With our projects, and so that's something where we want to hopefully talk about as this new major launches with at Bowie State.
Yeah, big time. It's great with the DJ thing you're doing. I have to throw it back to DJ D Nice, right? Because
Yes.
I think so. This is the funny thing. What I thought was one of the main innovations that happened during the pandemic
Hmm.
was the advent of hip hop intersecting with tech in a way that allowed us to feel immersive from the house.
That's right. We had no
Nobody, there
choice.
was no meeting, there was no hip hop conference.
That's right.
People just realized, what would I be doing right now in the house that would still allow me to connect with the culture? And then
Exactly.
everybody who's a creative figured out a way to do so, whether it was Versus,
Yep.
whether it's D Nice creating the
Yep.
in-house studio environment or the club environment. And to this point, even now, like personally, if I'm just cooling out doing some work, I'm always watching these living room DJs that just create DJ sets for YouTube strictly audiences.
Yes.
I love
Yes.
it. I don't have to go to the look. I'm 45. I'm not going to the club like that no more. But
Right.
I can
Right.
go watch these people. Sometimes there's people in the background dancing, doing whatever. But either way, I get to hear DJ sets in the style of a D Nice session that feels immersive,
Hmm.
giving me what I like right from the comfort of my house. I think this is just a beautiful thing.
It is.
You think about all the technology and how we're all using them now. I just feel like there's just more vibrant ecosystems coming our way that we can't even imagine probably yet.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, D Nice, DJ Jazzy Jeff, all the amazing DJ.
Yes, yes.
DJ Miss Her, gotta give love to the local
Yeah.
DJ Lance Reynolds, and all the
DJ
RBI
Last Reynolds,
dope
that's my
man.
man.
That's my
Salute.
man. Like,
My
so
God. Yeah.
again, I'm around. For me, what I love about DJs,
Yeah.
in addition to what you just mentioned about, right after COVID, we couldn't go anywhere. We had to
Right.
have the party at home. But what I love about DJs, I see them as these curators of culture. I just maybe deep down inside, in another life, I would be a DJ. But I love the sampling, the mixing,
Me too.
the blending. To me, it's very similar. I'm going to tie this to sort of the name of my studio, Visual Jazz. Visual Jazz is a tribute to Romare Bearden and Thelonious Monk. And
Uh,
Romare Bearden was the person that came up with the term of seeing jazz, or making it, seeing jazz on paper. But he would cut and mix and sample and do these collages, just like a DJ. It cut, mix, and samples, music and oral elements. And so
mm,
that was really exciting to me. And with this story and this character that I want to sort of explore, not only the different facets of music, especially Black and African music throughout the diaspora, but culture and history. And so yeah, so this is so exciting for me to be around amazing DJs and producers. And again, just taking from hip hop and this culture and the different elements, ways that we could sort of translate this into using other technology and other different experiences for people. And that's something I hope that we'll touch upon in this project. But yes, I mean, I too was home, listening to the verses and the mixes, and I'm still listening to them. But that's what I love about especially hip hop culture is again I call them the cultural curators, if you will, reminding us of what came before, where we are now, where we can go.
No, that's dope, man. And also, man, them jewels you just dropped didn't go over my head. I didn't know visual jazz was Romeo Bearden and Thelonious Monk. I love that, man. You always educating, dog. That's what you be doing.
and music is such, and it's also my love of music. I have no musical skills whatsoever. Wish I was, maybe my next life, but jazz artists, hip hop artists, reggae, go-go, soca, house. I've been vibing on some house lately. But it's just such amazing musical forms that have been inspiring me, that are funneling into this film. But again, just looking at ways that we can kind of tap into this culture, and then kind of hopping back at the university. We have a minor in hip hop studies and visual culture, so we have a unique opportunity to study and learn about DJs and MCs and graffiti artists and dancers and b-boys and b-girls and beatbox artists. And so this exciting thing about being at a HBCU is we have an opportunity to study our culture, to study our music, to let our students look at this culture and think about the next 50 years of hip hop, so to speak, and where things will go. So it's a really exciting time. And I'm hoping that we can continue at Bowie State to be a partner here with the community here in Prince George's County, and really empower our students for success.
Yeah, man. Avant-garde creative alchemy is what we're doing here, folks. Get these words in your life. We got to talk about the other side of the game, T.O. There
Sure.
are some artists that tech scares the crap out of them. They see all this stuff coming, they see all these tools, and the first thing they're saying is, one, something new to learn. Two, can I compete? And three, will I be replaced? I was having a webinar the other day with Brian Burns, and we talked about the fact of in AI, Timbaland has now created a AI artist called Tata, and he at some point got into an online, I'm going to call it a spirited debate with Young Guru, a producer and engineer, famously for Jay-Z, that also went to Howard University,
Yep.
And Guru was advocating on behalf of the artist, saying, well, how are you teaching Tata or AI to create music genres, what he's calling AI pop? Are you inserting certain artists into them to learn and then remix the narrative? And the main fear was you can teach AI or attempting to teach AI to get creatives out of the way in some level, or have a whole nother genre that takes away the soul, if you will, of what an artist actually brings to the table. What do you think about people who think like this and have these fears across any artistic genre or industry?
Well, I have to be honest with you. I was one of them, and respect to Young Guru. I had a chance to meet that brother years ago. But no, I think what you talked about, we need to teach those who are teaching the AI. We need to develop the skills of AI prompt engineering, as I'm learning. I'm literally learning about this myself. But how do we get in front of it and not get behind it? And yeah, there's always going to be debate. Now, there is obviously some challenges, with artist work, the scrubbing of the internet, and people scrubbing people's artwork to create a work of art in the style of Rhett Butler or Tewodross Williams. And so that's going to be an issue. But I think that we need to get in front of this. And when I say we, in terms of teaching our students and young people to really get into AI, generative AI, prompt engineering, and developing the code, being able to person who programs that MC or that pop artist. I think these are the skills that our students are going to need going forward, because the cat is out of the bag. It's here. It's not going anywhere. Listen, I was very resistant for many years, and I just cracked open a program called Adobe Firefly. which
Hey,
and actually it's been helping me with doing some. I've been using some AI to explore some conceptual things for my film, and
nice.
so I think it's a great tool. I don't think anything will quote unquote replace us. Just like there's going to be the microwave, but everybody wants a home cooked meal. You know what I'm saying? So if I could do it real quick, yeah, that's
Preach.
fine. But
Yeah.
you still want, we're gonna need the artists, the MCs, the singers, the dancers, the performers, the filmmakers. We're still going to need that person. So if we as an institution can get our students to learn how to not control the AI, but how to sort of program it effectively, I think those are going to make them definitely more hireable in the future. So we have to get in front of it and not get, we don't want to get rolled over by AI, so to speak. So so as far as the debate, again, I'm more to saying, you know what, let me go ahead and look into this AI thing and see how, I can grab the reins. It's kind of like a horse. Let me
Yeah.
grab the reins
Yeah.
of this thing instead of getting trampled over by it. You know what I mean? But
No, I
yeah.
agree. I totally
Mhm.
agree. And I love that example you gave because, sometimes you get so caught up in work that you might call Uber Eats a little too much. And
Yep.
at some point, you're like, I cannot do another takeout, man. I
You
need
know
somebody to
what?
cook in this house.
You just want grandma's mac and cheese. It's I mean, yeah,
I mean,
I'm
there's a
with you.
difference. There's a big
Yeah,
difference.
there's a difference, and I think folks will understand that. Like, I mean, there's a after a while you can say, hey, that was created by AI, right? All the AI video. Well, it's a little rough nowadays,
That's right.
but
That's
it's
right.
so much, especially with film and video, that it's
Right.
really hard to discern. But I do think that there are some limitations. AI can't
Yeah.
create these stories. You're still going to need, you're going to need the artists, you're going to need the creatives, you're going to need imagination. Now we just have to learn how do we protect our work as creatives
Mhm.
and benefit from it. Yeah, so that's going to be the challenge, and for us going into the future.
Yeah, and it's funny, right? Like I said in the other webinar, Brian and I talked about
Hmm.
um, wealth gap being shortened based on what this new technology can do and how we can kind of
Right.
catch up, so to speak. It's interesting, especially in the film industry. You can actually have actors and or other
Hmm.
people in the production team that are able to get more efficiency and more
Yeah.
frequency based
Hmm.
on their ownership of their agency within regard to utilization of AI or other technology tools. I think if people lean
Exactly.
into the entrepreneurial element of it and stop
Yep.
looking at it as a usurper or something that's going to make them irrelevant, they'll probably start to realize how they can use it to their benefit.
Right.
And
Right.
I think part of this too, and it's dope to hear what Bowie State is doing,
Yes.
is educating people on the whys, not the why nots.
Hmm.
Because it's too easy to move into the fear factor. I always tell artists, if your insecurity is gonna bleed all over your creativity, nobody's gonna probably understand what you're talking about.
That's
Because
right.
you're
That's right.
you're too in fear of what people won't understand, that you're
Hmm.
thinking about that more than what you're trying to show them. That
Right.
you can they can't see yet. Does
Right.
any of that
Right.
make any sense? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, and so going back to the earlier conversation, so how can we right here in the Gateway Arts District in Prince George's County, in the Bowie State, et cetera, how can we tap into this? My one thing I'd like
Yeah.
to do, and I want to definitely give love to the amazing film you mentioned, Howard. Again, it's Tressa Azarel Smallwood, Megamind Media, Octet
Shout
Productions,
out to Chris.
amazing teams that we are partnering with, and she's actually looking at building studios and how could we create a hub right
Wow.
here in the Prince George's for virtual filmmaking, virtual production, AI engineering, things like that, visual effects and special effects. I mean, we're right outside of DC. So I always
That's
share
right.
this with Rhonda Dallas and Donna Foster Dotson. It's like we can sort of be that digital media hub for films that are shot in DC or films that
Oh
are
yeah.
shot in Baltimore. The great thing about our location, we can have the urban look in terms of locations. We can have this, we can have the suburban, and so I think we are at a unique crossroads here, literally right here on Rhode Island Avenue at the Gateway,
That's right. That's
to
right.
create studios for everything from motion capture to animation and visual effects. Unreal Engine, I think, is an amazing game stopper right now. So if we could
Indeed.
sort of be that hub for the future of filmmaking right here in Prince George's County, I think we're gonna set ourselves apart from, say, in Atlanta or New York or in LA. But yeah, this is the time. Again, the future is now, and
Yes, sir.
I'm hoping that again these partnerships that we could certainly take advantage of it. Again, There's amazing work coming out of here, amazing artists. And again, as you mentioned earlier with the governor, designating specific areas, how can we talk to government officials to bring more tax incentives and more
Right.
financial incentives to make a film or an animation or production right here in Prince George's County. People also don't know that, one of the largest game design areas is in Hunt Valley, Maryland, right
What?
up the street. Yeah, there's about 10 or more game design companies in Hunt Valley. And so this can certainly be the
Hey,
hub for gaming as well, for virtual production, for immersive media, as it intersects with business and commerce and even, the government.
absolutely. Final thoughts, Tio. The future is now. Creative innovation in film, animation, and immersive media. Why is Prince George's County now the new place for creative innovation?
It's the new place of our location, the talent, the people, the communities that are here. Again, we're strategically located, in this sweet spot that not too far from New York, not too far from DC, Baltimore, Virginia, Annapolis, and so I think that because of innovative things that we're trying to do at Bowie State, even University of Maryland, Morgan State, all the other local schools. I think
Right.
we really, really set ourselves apart from other areas. We have a great international hub right here of just folks of international communities, here in the DMV. And so, I just think that now is the time. It's a beautiful place to live. It's a beautiful place to be, raise your children. I've raised all my children here. I grew up here with the high school here, everything. And so I would just say that finally we're at a time where we don't have to necessarily leave the DM or Prince George's County to find a sustainable career, and that's something as we try to teach our students as they get ready to graduate. We want them to be able to stay here and continue to get this creative economy to thrive. So, again, and just the audiences too. We have an amazing audience of people that are here that want to see new stories, that want to see innovative concepts in film and television. But yeah, I just think it just right now it's in the water, it's in the air, it's here, and we just have to tap into it and work together.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's T.O. Joe M. Williams, filmmaker, animator, designer, professor, Afrofuturist, owner of Visual Jazz, and one of the reasons why the future is now for creative innovation in film and beyond in Prince George's County. My name is Rhett Butler. You stay getting blessed with this.